Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Moonee Valley. New look tonight. We're in a different studio at the Valley, so if you're coming out a little bit later on and looking for us, don't be surprised if you don't find us, because we're tucked away up here in the lodge. I can't tell you where it is because you'll laugh your head off if I tell you where we really are, but I dare say probably by the time we finish off air tomorrow, of course, we're back here tomorrow with racing from Moonee Valley, Geelong, and also we go harness racing in Mildura tomorrow, so it promises to be a big day, and I think perhaps if I leave it till the end of tomorrow to tell you where we've actually done our show from the last 2 days. Dan Malecki, good evening and welcome, and first time I think you've done a show from the venue that we're doing it from.
Funny thing was, I got here a little bit late tonight because I had other commitments during the day, and I only had 5 minutes to spare, but it took me the whole 5 minutes to find this place. Yeah, no, but it'd be a bit of fun.
The interesting thing is you just keep passing a lot of women coming into where we go, so try and work it out at home where you reckon we might be. But it's good. It's a very good studio, I can tell you, but we just can't see what's happening around us. Danny, 9 races tonight here from the Valley. Interesting card. I know I do say that every week, but there's a lot of picket fences in front of a lot of horses tonight, which I think is going to make it very, very hard in some races. The Coca-Cola Amateur Cup, of course, for the horses that have been racing up through the country, $20,000 at stake. And, of course, we've got the Group 2 Coca-Cola Classic tonight too as well, which has brought together another good field here of horses at Moonee Valley. Let's have a look at Dan's thoughts, and we start off with race 1, the Mount Franklin Pace, and that's time to get away at 7 o'clock.
Okay, well, this is one of my old favourites, the MOs. Often look for value in the races. The funny thing is, you know, I'll have a look at the field and think, yeah, you look for a bit of value. But I always seem to end up tipping the favourite in these races, and they always seem to get rolled. But Milwaukee Brave was a big run last week. I think unquestionably should have won the race, but I think that is also its racing pattern. It has to rely on a little bit more luck than, say, some of the other horses do. 380 and 180 is not really value, but he put the writing on the wall last week. He's certainly not far off a win. 4, I thought, had a chance, which is Torado Hell. It's got good speed, may well be the leader, although the running man can get out and do just that, run along a bit. But Torado Hell, not hopeless. And I put number 11 in for third, Race Lee's Roma. He's the sort of horse that, with a bit of speed on, he could be running on at the end. $37 represents a little bit of value, but they're the sort of prices of horses that win this race. Last week, I think we had a $70 winner in the first race, and it's only $37 for the rank outsider. But it's one of those races. There's probably not a horse in the race that I could honestly say couldn't win, although Fox 4 was disappointing from barrier number 1 last week. But really, it's just one of those wide-open races. I have put 3 on top of 4 and 11 with my 3 tips in the race, but I'm sort of more so leaning for horses at value. Candyland was an even money favourite last week and is much better odds tonight, number 12, and is probably just as good coming from behind too, so don't rule out Candyland. The 11 at value, I think look for the value. I think it's been proven through the trial and error that horses at odds win the MO races.
All right, that's race 1 here from the Valley. Perhaps we might get a chance to check the scratchings too, boys, at the back. As you can see, up until race 5, we don't have to get the pen out. There's only 3 for the whole card. Out of race 5, number 8, out of race 6, number 8, and out of race 7, number 12. 3 for the card here at Moonee Valley, and of course a reminder to you, we do go harness racing in South Australia and Brisbane tonight as well. The Stall Trophy final race 2, Danny.
Well, this is a hard race. Collectively to get these horses in the race because they're all of similar class. They've all been racing in the provincial areas. Keep an eye on the betting. It is a standing start race and there's a field of 14 engaged. My top 3 were 11, 2 and 5. All 3 horses seem to have pretty good form around them. That's Top Shelf from Demarcation and Waikerie Symphony, 11, 2 and 5. And good luck to the boys involved with Warrior of Destiny, a lot of them from the South Montana Warriors Football Club. And they were also part of the crowd at the Club Hotel in Ferntree Gully today, of which I did the Punters Club at. So they'll be cheering wildly for Warrior of Destiny, and the quiet tip is it's a chance at 20 to 1.
Well, if it's those sort of odds down, it might have a few friends too as well.
I think so, yep.
Caduceus Club Pace, time to get away at 8 o'clock.
Brian Gaff drives number 3 in this race, which is Rain Again. Neil Brady trains the horse. He's been driving it. He's a good horse. He sticks on gamely. But, you know, the 1.5 trip, I think, is a favourable distance for Rain Again. Undoubtedly, he's got the ability, but he's just a funny horse. He needs to be off the bit and tapped up a long way from home. And I think, obviously, if you're up him early enough, or he's got the opportunity to fight back, he can stave off opposition over a couple of furlongs, but if something sprints at him, he can't quite hold them off. So I think if Rain Again, you know, he's the sort of horse that's capable of running at under 2 minute speed for a 1.5 miles, and he may well be better from behind as well. So Look, I think he can make amends for those 2 defeats at odds on in the last week. Collect again, number 8 for second. It's got good speed and 2 magic bubble. 3, 8 and 2. But there's a bit of winning form in this race. I expect Rain again to win, and you probably won't find he'll be 5 to 1 on like he was last Saturday night.
Yes, he's had a couple of runs pretty close together too, Danny. Everestus knocking him off at Ballarat last start. For a lot of punters, I think he's been a little bit disappointing, but I think you've got to understand the horse, and the race has got to be run to suit. And as you said before, if he's a horse that's tapped along, and we saw him 2 runs back here at Moonee Valley, only over the 1900, he was virtually under the stick a lap from home, but he just keeps whacking away and fighting away, but just found the winner on that night, Forever Admiral, too strong right on the line. Race 3 starts the quad extra, the Kirk's Mixers 4-year-old pace.
Bit tougher. This is a 1940-metre race and the barrier draw of all importance here. I did tip Cleftus. His form has been okay. He's a good sort of a horse. He can sprint home pretty quickly or take a forward position. From tonight's point of view, though, he'll have to sprint pretty quickly. 2, Blue Boss. The draw may well favour it tonight, with a lot of the chances drawn the second line, and 12 Boambi Bay. So I've made it 10, 12 and 2, but I don't think it's as narrow as that. Arkwright, Family Arm, Gemfire have also got good chances, and I wouldn't rule out Sassy Gina as well. They're the chances, pretty open race, and the barrier draw, I think, makes it open. Perhaps the best suited because of the draw may well be number 2, Blue Boss, who's got plenty of ability.
All right, let's check the betting on the first, Dan, the total update for the Mount Franklin Pace. And the favourite still here is Milwaukee Brave at $3.60 and $1.60. Bookmakers perhaps have got it a fraction shorter outside. The Running Man very much overs on the tote, Dan, compared to what bookmakers are offering. Also, horses that are given a bit of a chance, Greenvale and Torado, held by bookmakers, and we have a look at them on the tote too. Number 4, $14.30, and also Greenvale, number 6, is $10.10. Again, very much overs on the tote. So outside Milwaukee Brave, there's a fair bit of value there.
Yeah, there is indeed, and as I often refer to, the MO races provide the value. Often the longest price winner for the night is in this race. So don't be afraid to back something at a bit of value here, because they're all of even ability, and it just depends what happens in the run. The Running Man can show a bit of speed. At all costs is certainly not hopeless. He was tightened probably at a crucial stage last start, and he probably didn't draw all that well, so he might be better suited tonight. He's at value. So is Torado Hell. Greenvale, Happy Connection, at least for the place. He's my boy's capable of running a place. Victory Shout's capable of an each-way chance. I think Racely's Rome, as I tipped at 3rd, has got a great each-way chance, and Candyland most definitely as well. The more I look at Milwaukee Brave, although he put the writing on the wall last week, he's only won 1 race in his last 23,
was it
so
last week?
360.
Yeah, correct me. Was it last week where he got into a spot of bother, went back nearly to last, and then still came home hard? Was it that? Yep. I mean, I've followed the horse a couple of times, and he's been a little bit disappointing, but I think it was last week's run where, in actual fact, he was probably just came from the clouds towards
a certainty beaten last week, but you said he got into bother, and I think because of he being the type of horse he is, he's always going to be in a situation where he can get into bother, because he hasn't really got a lot of speed, he can't really do a lot of work in the run, so therefore he's always got to be an each-way odds bet. I would suggest Milwaukee Brave. Otherwise, he has to rely on too much luck. He didn't get the luck last week, and it was a super run, but that's what I think you're going to have to put up with. So 361.6 is no value for him, but he probably should have broken his MO status last week.
All right, Racely's Roma, just looking at it as far as bookmakers are concerned compared to what the tote's offering at the moment, you can just about double that, Dan. So it's a very interesting affair, a very tricky affair. If you're guided by what bookmakers and what the tote's doing, there's two real different stories out there. Let's have a look at the 5th, the Coca-Cola Amador Cup final. OK, this is a $20,000 race. Initially, I tipped Duke of Montrose, and in the tipping competition, my tip will go down as number 5. I can't change that now. But I am willing to suggest that Gold Card is the horse to beat here now, number 11, particularly each way. This horse has only missed a place once. He's got plenty of ability. He's tough. I think he'll be suited in a race like this. He's specifically set for it in a very good stable. Laurie Wills is the trainer. I think each way, he's about 6 or 7 to 1 in the paper. I think he's a good each way bet, Gold Card. He really has got a future. He's been well taken care of, and he's certainly got the ability, I think, to go on. You look at the horses that have won this race last couple of years, the Widow's Might, Liberty JJ, Nicholas Brenner. Look at the heights those horses got to. And I wouldn't be surprised if Gold Card, he is 1/8 of 12. He's probably got a better record at this stage of his life than those horses did when they approached this race. So 11 on top of 5, Duke of Montrose, who's also got a very good record, wasn't overly impressive winning at a day meeting last week, last Monday, and 1 Naliska because of the draw. She'll be in it for a long way. But 11 each way all day from 5 and 1. I think you're pretty close to the mark too, Danny. I saw Gold Card win at Bendigo its last start too. It was super impressive. Got to the front, dictated terms. When you have a look at this bloke on the track too, he's a striking black track horse too. As you said before, Laurie Wills, good trainer, has got the horse going exceptionally well at the moment too.
I would suggest probably even better coming from behind, so don't be at all put off because of the barrier draw.
Okay, the Pacific Orchard Pace. This is race 6, third leg of the Quad Extra here from the Valley. It's time to get away at 9:30.
Well, Dancing Magic's most recent Moonee Valley win and Rodway Bay's win last Saturday night, they rated, or 2 weeks ago, both rated around the 2-minute mark for these distances, and I think because of the barrier draw they're going to be capable of running those times, Rob. One Dancing Magic, Chris Alford's got the driver number 1, which is an important driving change. I think between the two of them they can dictate terms to their own advantage. They can run the 2-minute bat and they can fight out the finish. One Dancing Magic to beat 3 Rodway Bay, and I've put 4 Qatari Connection, who got shuffled back at a vital stage of the race last Saturday night before coming home to run 5th behind Laura's Revenge. It wasn't a bad effort. Again, place claims, but I think if any horse is going to win the race, and there is some good set sprinters, they're going to have to break 2 minutes for it. 1 on top of 3 and 4.
All right, let's move on. We'll keep rolling. We're only about 4 minutes away from a start here at Moonee Valley for the first. So let's have a look at the totes again. The favourite at $3.70, $1.70 from the Peace Camp. That's Milwaukee Brave. It's, well, $3.60, $3.70. There's not a lot of move on the tote.
No, not at all. You know, most people that watched last week saw the bother that the horse got into, and I think it was only fair that it perhaps comes up favourite because undoubtedly it should have won. 370, 170.
The interest standing with Racely's Roma, I didn't see the run at Horsham, 11th of 11th at Horsham. Prior to that was a winner at Yarra Glen. I know they ran pretty slow time at the same time.
Wet track it was,
at Yarra Glen, but there were excuses for it. But I'm just astounded, as bookmakers have virtually got him half of what the odds are as far as the tote's concerned.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's about right. I tipped him third, Rob. Not that I'm unused to tipping horses at big odds, but, you know, it probably won't find as much bother as what Milwaukee Brave
There's only one problem
anyway.
with you tipping horses at big odds. They invariably run a drum.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
All right, let's roll on, Danny, and we'll have a look. Where do we get to? Race 7?
Yep.
Yes, of course, the Coca-Cola Amateur Classics, the big one of the night.
Oneiden Supreme has won this race for the last 2 years, and I think he's got as good a chance of making it 3 in a row. He's racing particularly well. He's suited in these sorts of races. He's got a tremendous sprint. 11 on top of 3 easy dollars. He's racing very well. His Country Cup runs were good, and Adair for that matter as well. 11 to beat 3 and 6. Obviously a host of chances. They were the 3 that I've narrowed it down to. You'd expect probably to get... Oh, Newsbreaker might run favourite, but at fairly decent odds tonight. I think you're in for a heck of a race, but the Sid Sprinter Oneiden Supreme is proven over any distance. He can sprint over the top of nearly any free-for-all horse here, apart from, say, some of the Group 1 horses. Great each-way chance, and he'll probably be at those each-way odds again. It
will be each-way value. The huge tip on track here is that we might see an improvement in Jack Morris tonight. When you walk on course tonight, everyone, talking with Tim Hable before we came on, with his bets, of course, on UZ, he said the tip is that Jack Morris will put his best foot forward tonight. I hope he doesn't. I really do, but for the owners too, I hope he does. But if we run a Canal, it'd be nice, but it'd be lovely to see my bloke get up. But don't be surprised if you see a big improvement from Jack Morris tonight. Let's have a look at race 8.
OK, the 8th, bit of a raffle. Trotter's handicap, heap of chances. The 3 I narrowed it down to are 5, 6 and 10, primarily because Samuel T. Quackenbush and Electric Mac are going to be at a bit of value, and I think they're the sort of bets you want to have in a race like this. Horses at 10 or 12 to 1 or better. So 5, 6 and 10 were my top 3, but really I could find positives for just about every horse in the race. Has got some sort of claim to fill the money, you know, which makes it pretty difficult. But my top 3 were 5, 6 and 10.
All right, getting down towards the lucky last. This is the Deep Spring Pacers handicap on this Coca-Cola Amateur Cup night. Now, we've got a full field to go around here of 12, and let's see if we can get out with another winner.
Well, it's a standing start race. I put Mighty Rare on top. He was unlucky not to have won a similar type race 2 runs ago. Kent's Gent just beat him. He flew home late. He's got a better draw. I think he's a good each-way chance in the last from 5, which is, from 9, Chazark. And Nickawampus Leroy's not hopeless either if he can step away. So 3 to beat 9 and 2 in the last.
All right, best on the night?
Well, I'd think Gold Card each way. I've got a lot of time for him. I was just a little bit hasty, I think, in doing my initial tips in the race where I tipped Duke of Montrose. But I like Gold Card. The more I look into the race, the more I like him and the more I like his future too. So each way, if there's 6 to 1, I reckon we want to carve that up to about half that price now, but he's a good horse.
My advice, if you can get 7 to 2 or better, I'd have a little bit of it because he does look very well placed in that, and he's a super horse, and he's a horse on the way up too.
Now, my best bet got up at about, was it $10.90 last week, so perhaps I better be a little bit more aware, but even on Eden Supreme each way, I think, you know, you're going to get those each way odds about good horses, and that's one of the prophecies I like backing good horses at good prices, and you'll get that about both those two horses tonight.
All right, so let's go back and have a look at the totes as we have a look at horses on the track here. Our view virtually from the powder room, the ladies' powder room here at Moonee Valley, or close there to it. $3.50 and $1.80 here for the favourite Milwaukee Brave in the first at Moonee Valley. $40.80 and $10.40 continues to drift out. Racely's Roma has got no friends in the betting whatsoever as far as tote punters are concerned. Dan, you've picked one at a little bit of odds. Also, each way, Racely's Roma out to 41.40, as I said before. The second horse that you put in here, Torado Hell, still at good value, $12 and $3.60. So outside the favourite, as we said before, the Running Man in contention at $6.30 and $2.40. Also at all costs, $6.70 and $2.50. And Candyland, not without its supporters too. I don't know what your thoughts of it are at $7.30 and $2.30 as they're a bat to go in race one.
It can win from behind Candyland. I've seen it do just that in Globe Derby. It seems to stick on as it's got older. It's developed into a better stayer. So remember, it was even money last week. It's $7 tonight. I'd much prefer to be on it tonight than last week.
Well, Milwaukee Brave's the favourite. Looks like the boss might have sacked himself tonight. Mark Peace takes the drive. Andrew sits probably back in the driver's room and has a look and see his little brother go around. And this Milwaukee Brave gets his chance tonight, drawn in 3. Comes up to the gate. You can see him on screen there at the moment. Looks a picture 2. This could be his night. We'll find out in a moment. Here's your caller for the first here at Moonee Valley, the Mount Franklin Pace, Brian Markovic.
Runners come up well. Milwaukee Brave, the favourite, number 3, $3.30. Won the Running Man, $5.60. 2 at all costs, $7.40. 6 Greenvale, $9.60. 12 Candyland on $7.50. All set for the first. Mount Franklin Pace, the favourites in 3, Milwaukee Brave, a perfect night in Melbourne town for hardest racing, and away they go. Milwaukee Brave goes away well, but Torado Hell beats it out, goes to the lead. From on the outside, King Crimson. Milwaukee Brave in the centre is 5th at the winning post the first time. The inside is the Running Man. Fox 4 making ground out, 3 wide now into 4th placing. Happy Connection trailing it in turn. Then at all costs, back to the inside, He's My Boy, followed by Greenvale, Victory Shout, Racely's Roma, and Candyland about 6 metres away. Inside the 1650 metre corner, lead time in a 24.1. Torado Hell the leader. King Crimson drops in for the trail, leaving on the outside Happy Connection without cover. Fox 4 now ends up with a 1-out trail. Then the Running Man settling down 5th on the inside. A neck 2 on the outside, Milwaukee Brave. On its back in turn at all costs, followed by He's My Boy on the rail. Trailed up by Victory Shout. Greenvale, the big bloke, is 3rd last, trailed up by Racely's Roma. And Candyland is some 5 metres away. Not much pace on, leaving the top turn at the 1250 metre corner. First quarter in a 33, and the leader Torado Hell narrowly. From on the outside, Happy Connection without cover. Now from the rear, at all costs now pulls out. He's flushed out Milwaukee Brave at the top of the straight now, nearing the 1,000 metres. He's starting a sprint now, Milwaukee Brave, a fair way out though. Happy Connection the centre making him work, and Torado Hell leads the pair by a neck. King Crimson the leader's back as 4th, 2 metres away. Fox 4 reined up at the moment, at all costs out 3 wide. Then the Running Man, He's My Boy away from the rail, followed by Greenvale. Then Victory Shout, Racely's Roma, and Candyland about 25 metres off the leader. Out of the straight at the 650. Second quarter in a 31.7. It's Torado Hell by a metre. 2 Happy Connection. Milwaukee Brave out 3 wide to 3rd. On the fence is King Crimson. 5th on the outside is Fox 4. At all costs on the outside, still driven along, trailed up by Greenvale. In the centre, He's My Boy. Back to the inside, the Running Man, followed by Victory Shout, Racely's Roma, and 6 metres away, Candyland. At the 400, nearing the corner, Torado Hell narrowly in front. Happy Connection the outside, almost joining it. Milwaukee Brave still boxing on out 3 wide. No run for King Crimson, followed by Fox 4. At all costs not travelling well, and peeling off its back from well back as Greenvale. Third quarter 29.5 of the 160. Torado Hell ahead in front. Happy Connection's under pressure. Milwaukee Brave trying hard. No run for King Crimson. Torado Hell just in front. Happy Connection having a crack at him. Here's the big fellow. Greenvale putting in the big strides. Torado Hell gobbled up by Greenvale. Gee, it's tight. Torado Hell, Greenvale almost a dead heat. Happy Connections run 3rd close up. Candyland rattle home. King Crimson never got a run. Not far away, Fox 4 and also Racely's Roma. Then Milwaukee Brave, the Running Man. He's My Boy. Just in behind them, Victory Shout. And last in, At All Costs.
Danny, it's tight. Good finish. Greenvale down the extreme outside for Ray Matthews, starting to put in the big ones right on the line. Whether he's got up to beat Torado Hell or not, we'll just have to wait and find out. Very, very tight. Picked him up again. I think you can sack the favourite for me after tonight.
Well, you can see what I mean about him at $3.70. As I said, I think he deserved to be at least $7 or $8. And the other horses, all the outsiders, they gave chances to have run very forwardly. Torado Hell's run a great race. Greenvale come with a well-timed run. Candyland got through the field, and even Racely's Romer's run fourth. The rank outside of the field's just missed out on running third. Torado Hell in front of Happy Connection, and wide out Greenvale coming at it. Oh, I tell you, it's close to a dead heat. There's not much between the two.
The four's got it.
And it's hung on the inside.
So Torado Hell gets the money from number 6, Greenvale, and you'll find that 8, Happy Connection. He signalled the other day, Happy Connection, where he ran fourth. Now, I'm going to say here's a good form line behind Simon's Adam at Bendigo last start. This fellow ran fourth and started to signal then that he wasn't far away. He's a tricky little horse to follow too. This is your mate, of course, that has a little bit of a nip at you down there in the birdcage every now and then.
He's just dirty on the world, Happy Connection, but he's, he fights on well. And as I said before the race, he was most definitely a place chance. He runs into the places more often than not. But my second tip, one Torado Hell at the good odds. He was deservedly able to break through because a couple of his runs have been very good. He didn't quite go as quick tonight as he had been going when he's led from barriers 1 and 7 recently. He just fell in, but he was given every chance, and Brett Edwards has done a terrific job in rating the horse. I think that was what was important, and as luck would have it, the post was in exactly the right spot for Torado Hell to hang on and win by, well, a pimple. Greenvale, I don't know how many seconds he's running MOs here, but it's a heck of a lot, and it's a heck of a lot of times he's been beaten in photos.
The form line, I was going to say, I was actually looking down there at the same time without thinking, what's the old story? Make sure your brain's engaged before you open your mouth. The other form line I was looking at was, of course, Greenvale finishing 6th behind Gold Card. Yeah. Of course, the horse we respect as being probably one of the best each-way bets of the night here tonight. For sure. 6th at Bendigo last start behind Gold Card. Here's the interim dividends for your dollar for the winner. 10.60 and 3.50 for Greenvale. It's got out fractionally just when they've jumped to defeat number 6, Greenvale, Ray Matthews. $3 even. And number 8, Happy Connection, Darren Pace. Interesting to have a look at Darren driving that fellow. Really didn't go to work on him. He's a horse that can turn it up. He's, as Danny said before, he's a horse that's got a mind of his own virtually, and he was trying to nurse him to the line. And he's returned a great dividend of $5.60, which augurs well for the trifecta if you had it for 4, 6 and 8, $1,706.70. And the Quinella for 4 and 6, $42.40 for race 1 at Moonee Valley. Time to introduce Robbie Orber to you as the winner comes back to scale here on a glorious night. I can tell you there's a few people starting to roll in, cars coming into the centre of the track here at Moonee Valley, and also the members is building up. It is a great night. Warmer weather to come tomorrow and also on Monday. Danny Malecki's even got a bit of a glow, copped a bit of sunshine this afternoon. I think if you're going to be out here at Moonee Valley tomorrow, a little bit of slip, slop, slap on the hat you better bring with you. It promises to be a great afternoon's entertainment, I can tell you. And of course, for those people that come out here to the Valley at 5:20 tomorrow, Japan Cup, you'll be able to see all that action live here too. I'll talk to you a little bit about that later on too, because there's one scratching out of the Cup, and the Australian horse is 23-1, Dane, when you can get, and 66-1 Stony Bay on the tote as far as punters are concerned over there, as far as the tote punters are concerned, because of course it's all tote over there in Japan at this early stage, with the American horse the favourite at the moment. Winner back to scale. You can see they're hanging on to it. Good effort too from Brett Edwards, hung on the inside, and duly saluted. Robbie Orber joins us. Good evening, my son.
Hello, Rob.
Adelaide and Brisbane, you're going to do for us again tonight?
Yes, Mildura tomorrow. We've been doing a lot of work these last few days.
You'll get your frequent flyer points going up tomorrow, you'll be right.
Yes. Well, I actually struggled to find where we were tonight, to be honest. I was walking around the track for about 5 minutes trying to find out where have you all gone.
We've been through that. I just said to everyone at home, perhaps we might tell them tomorrow, but I let a little secret out before. We're pretty close to the ladies' powder room here. I said to Dan earlier on where we were doing it from, I said, I'm on the cubicle at the right and you're in the cubicle at the left. And I think he thought I was joking for a moment. I said, I just hope there's not a war between us so we can communicate. But we're very close to that.
Well, I actually had to ask the gentleman minding the entrance. I said, it can't be over there. It's got the ladies' toilet sign over there. He said, no, there's a little door there. So I found it.
Actually, it's not a bad little studio, to be quite honest. Now, if you go to the right there, you can see virtually the scales down there through the front door. We're to the right of that and in and around the back there, so we can't see a thing, only through the eyes of our cameras here at Moonee Valley tonight. But it's certainly a big, spacious studio we've got here. OK, Robbie, let's have a look at Adelaide, if you wish to start there in South Australia. The first is at 7:15. We might have a look at a tote update. And 7 minutes to race 1. The favourite very short, $1.70 to $1 here for number 4, that's Chemka.
Well, it's going to be a favourites night in Adelaide tonight, so for those that like taking a few short odds, the place to bet in is definitely in Adelaide. I think we're going to find about 5 or 6 favourites saluting the judge there this evening. In the first, I think favourite punters can get off to a good start with number 4, Chemka. This horse battled on very strongly behind Elise Zell, sat without cover throughout the journey, battled on very strongly. I think he's definitely the horse to beat here, number 4, Chemka. The danger number 7, Class Prevails, at his only start in Adelaide was quite a good run. He was bailed away behind the leader, held up and never got a crack at him, but he was travelling well. So I think he's definitely the danger, but he's going to need a little bit of luck from inside the second row over the 1,800 metre journey. And for third, number 6, Roscoe Robust, a horse in the Greg Norman camp. This horse has only had the 2 starts for a fourth and a first. He's got a lot of ability. He's very green. He's a big, strong horse, and I'm sure that he'll run a very good race for you at good odds for your trifecta. So 4, 7 and 6 for the first at Globe Derby.
All right, let's have a look at race 2 from Adelaide, and an interesting affair again. There's probably 3 or 4 with a real chance in this.
Yes, a horse that, well, I suppose I thought it was quite disappointing, Bugsy Sarnell last Saturday night. We were told that he'd been trialling quite well. He was well supported in the ring in the last week at Globe Derby. He finished off the race okay, despite I felt he was a little bit disappointing. However, second start back, he should be a lot fitter. The distance should suit him. He begins fairly well. I think he'll be vying for the lead. If he happens to find it, he's definitely the horse to beat here, number 5, Bugsy Sarnell. From number 6 in the race, which is Gina Lolo, I think the early battle for the lead will be the big or plus here. Whoever leads between Bugsy Sarnell and Gina Lolo, I felt they were the 2 horses to beat. And for third, I selected number 2, Presdale Blue. Has been trialling quite well, and he's definitely got some chance in the race. And another horse, Marie Camella, number 9. So as you did mention, there's probably a few chances in the race, Rob, but I finished up 5, 6 and 2. I'm sticking with Bugsy Sarnell.
The Trotters, here's the next, pardon me for having a look down. I'm just having a look at Robbie's tips here at the same time. Race 3, Adelaide. The Trotters free for all for T3 horses or better. We see the return here of Light Buffy. Hasn't had a start since May. Reports are she's trialling well. Yeah,
trialling sensational, Rob, over in South Australia, and they tell me that they felt that there wasn't a horse in the race good enough to beat it. So I've put him on top here, number 4, Light Buffy. Clear top pick. From number 8, Energy Plus, a big effort last start. He can do a few things wrong. However, when he does decide to put it all together, he's definitely the danger. And for third, number 2, Half Day. 4, 8 and 2, but number 4, Light Buffy, the horse to beat.
All right, some of the people just starting to gather here at Moonee Valley, up on the lodge. That view that they have up there looks straight down at horses coming up at the winning post here at Moonee Valley. And you can start to see people starting to stroll in and sit down, have dinner. Wonderful spot to enjoy harness racing at the Valley. And, of course, plenty of other corporate boxes and plenty of other dining tables in the front of the grandstand as well, too. OK, that's race 3 at Adelaide. Let's have a look at the 4th.
Race 4, Rob, this is probably, without doubt, one of the most open fields of the night. I have selected here number 11, Little Drummer Boy. A little bit disappointing last week. He did a bit of work in the run. However, he was the first horse speed, and I feel it's probably slightly easier opposition tonight, but he will have to overcome the second line draw. I've put him on top, number 11, Little Drummer Boy. From number 1, Jack Rabbit, a horse that hasn't been too far away at his last few outings. He got to the line very strongly last start, nicely drawn in barrier 1. It's the best draw he's had for a while. I think he's definitely the danger. Probably a good each-way bet in the race. And for third, number 8, Self-Supporting, who gets home very strong at the finish of his races. 11, 1 and 8 in race 4.
All right, first leg of the Daily Double at Adelaide tonight. It's time to get away at 9:20 for C5 and C6 horses. Now, I think there's a little horse in here, Robbie, realistically speaking, I think is on the way up. 3 wins to his credit in the last. I think tonight can make it 4. Amazing horse, Apollo King. I don't think they purchased him for a lot of money from here in Victoria, but since moving over to South Australia, he's just made every start. He's been very impressive in scoring. He will have to overcome inside the second row tonight. His danger, number 3, Major Hits, definitely the horse to beat in the race. I've stuck with Apollo King. I think he's racing great form. However, you wouldn't be rushing in taking a very short quote tonight on this horse. Number 7 on top. From number 3, Major Hit, I think they're the main 2 in this race. And for third, number 8, Idle Statement. 7, 3 and 8. Major Hit's definitely the danger to Apollo King. Well, probably the best field that they've had gathered together for a while, and a discretionary handicap for C6 horses in South Australia. We see tonight the Francos share the back mark with Tarmac off 30 metres in Franco's Capri and Franco's Chance. I've come up with a surprise selection, number 2, Just Mike. The reports are that this horse has been trialling in great form over in South Australia. He's drawn nicely in barrier 2. If he handles the standing start conditions and leads, I think he'll give him plenty to chase in the race. Each way, number 2, Just Mike. The horse was racing here with Kevin Bruff over in Victoria, was racing great